Doctor Who New Year's Special 2021 Revolution of the Daleks. So we finally see the return of the bronze Daleks.
Yeah,
That's nice.
that was kind of spoiled for me because of Twitter
Yeah, I'm not on Twitter, so I didn't get spoiled.
and John Barrowman himself. Somebody
uh,
retweeted him with the bronze Dalek, but
yeah, which I prefer that design. But
I don't know. I actually liked the new Daleks. They were
mm,
kind of badass.
eh,
I
I,
I
I,
know they're I know it's really cliche, but something has to be said about the solid black the black metal with the red lighting.
eh, it's not. Hey, different people have different opinions. You know,
Yeah,
I like the bronze. I like it better. It's
I
also
like
for the sake
I
of
like I like the bronze. Don't get
yeah.
me wrong, but I also like that little notch in the front of that one
Mm. Yeah, it just
and the underlight.
yeah, it's I don't know. It's also just I guess sort of almost a nostalgia for because they just keep changing what the Daleks look like. You have the Ironsides Dalek. You have the candy coated Dalek.
No, no,
Okay.
no. They're the Dalek Rangers.
Oh, Dalek Ranger. Okay, yeah. Dalek Rangers. Yeah. All right. I stand
Morphin
corrected.
Dalek Rangers.
Yeah, it's like
Oh,
they've done so many other things with them. It's just like, can we just can we just keep the look?
Although although honestly, I'm not a fan of the warmer colors. Anyways, I like the classic blue and white that they had in the 70s and 80s.
Mm.
Like, um, what was it? Remembrance of the Daleks, I think it was the one where Ace beats the crap out of them with her Omega Bat. They had this awesome looking, like the casing was blue, the balls and the lining and stuff was silver. I love that color scheme. They
Mm.
also had red and gold. Oh my gosh, it was Gryffindor and Ravenclaw Daleks. Wait, they also had black and silver. If it were black and gold, it would have been Hufflepuff.
It always goes back to Harry Potter, doesn't it?
Harry Potter, Star Trek.
I mean, she was referencing Harry Potter in there.
Yeah, knowing at least the first, if you know at least the first paragraph of the first Harry Potter
I mean,
book.
you know that you know he lived on Privet Drive. That's all you needed to know
Yeah,
to know
yeah.
that
If
they
you
were, and that his family was named the Dursleys.
yeah, it's a bit of a call me Ishmael. It's all you have to say, and then you're like, okay, I know where this is from. But
Yeah,
um,
but tell me, does this not, aside from the breaking out of prison, does this not ring as Victory of the Daleks?
oh, which one was that one?
That was the one with Churchill.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mentioned Ironsides, but yeah, it's I didn't put it together, but yeah, it's kind of just a rip off of Victory
Yeah,
of the
it's
Daleks.
the Victory of the Daleks mixed with Dalek. The
Yeah,
episode, the first one
two
with
two
Rose.
better episodes.
Eh, I mean, they were okay,
Well, better
but
than this one.
well, honestly, I think this one was better than what was it? Re- um, Resolution of the Daleks,
I think it was just
the
Resolution,
last
wasn't it? Resolution last year.
resolution. Yeah, this is better than that one, but
Yeah, I would say it's better than that one, but it's still a Chibnall. Because
yeah,
if you think about it for more than a second, it doesn't start. It starts falling apart really quickly. Like okay,
yeah,
So her tactic for getting rid of the bronze Daleks once they've killed off the impure Daleks is to lure them into her TARDIS, into a TARDIS rather, and then kill a living being in order to kill off all these Daleks who are just going to
Yeah,
run after her in the TARDIS.
the TARDIS thing. Because first of all, TARDISes are an endangered species now. Second of all, a TARDIS is a living ship, a cognizant, sentient, compassionate being.
Yeah, and
Like,
just like, I got a spare.
yeah, like that's like I understand if it were a regular spaceship. If it were a regular spaceship designed to look like a TARDIS or something. But no, that is
Yeah, a TARDIS is not a. It's not a. It's, and I think that sometimes they forget some of that lore. That yes, TARDISes are alive. They're grown. You know,
yeah,
and they
they're
forget that lore, and
Wait.
that's sort of horrifying.
which in Torchwood, Jack Harkness had a TARDIS crystal on his desk. I wonder what happened to that when Torchwood 3 hub blew up.
There's no telling. We don't know the resiliency of TARDIS crystals
True.
or what they're growing.
There
What
might
they're
be a TARDIS growing under Cardiff Bay right now. That would
yeah.
be an
We don't know
awesome-
what their
I
growth
did
requirements
appreciate
are.
I did appreciate the little nod to it kind of actually felt a little bit like Tennant's last run, you know, when he went to see all his old buddies and stuff. When right before he regenerated at the end of time, at the end
Yeah, I know
of
what you're talking about with Tenet, but I don't know.
But at the beginning, when she was seeing all of the little characters from throughout, the Weeping Angel, the
Oh
little
yeah,
Ting,
okay.
all those guys.
Yeah, though the Ood, why was the Ood have red eyes? Like, wasn't that because of what they were doing with the central brain?
Yeah, partially. But don't forget, the Oods had red eyes during Impossible Planet when it was possessed by the devil. So it could be some other contagion or influence.
Yeah,
That
it was just a thought. Like, okay, wait, why are they?
Although,
Why are they?
Yeah. Nah, the Ood was just cutting onions.
why did they put the Ood in with the Sycorax? It looked like they were in the same cell.
But yeah,
I mean, I can understand why the Sycorax would be in prison, honestly. Although, congrats on them for finding a cage for the Pating, because wasn't that the whole point of that episode, that it was unstoppable?
it was Doctor Who's Nibbler, and just
Yeah.
basically eat anything.
It was an unstoppable, unquenchable little gremlin. Yet the Shadow Proclamation and the Jadoon seem to have found a cure for that. So
Yeah, and they
good for
also
them.
they
And
also
Lightning.
quantum lock the angel.
yeah, they just managed to keep an angel. They managed to the silence is a little easier to deal with because then you get those eye drives that you hear about
Yeah.
in the audiobooks of just audiobooks, but audio dramas where they have just a picture of the silence on their on one eye at all times so that they don't forget it. And
Except when they blink.
but
Too
Yeah.
short of a span.
yeah, it's yeah. There's ways of dealing with the silence. Those guys,
Yeah.
they're formidable, but
the
you can't,
silence
there are
were-
countermeasures.
Yeah, and the silence were containable. So even if they were forgotten, they were there.
Yeah,
I'm it looks like the entire thing was pretty much automated, first of all. So, oh, the silence is, the entire thing is automated with them. So that's one thing. But also, they're pretty easily killed and everything. So keeping them locked up, that's not that difficult.
Yeah, they're of the menagerie that they had there. They're one of the easier ones to. They're,
Yeah.
they're annoying and they're hard to deal with if you don't have the right equipment, but if you or you don't know what you're looking for,
You know,
which
I,
is
I have to admit, it felt more like somebody's collection than a prison.
It did. It felt more like a zoo.
Yeah, it's like so you just like imprison these like just as far as I could tell just random aliens.
Maybe it was that one race from the Orville.
Yeah, I
oh
can see that.
this is yeah. But as we got from Captain Jack, it was a prison because they were saying, yeah, I committed a lot of crimes to get in here.
Probably more than I had to.
Probably what I had to. What kind of crimes?
Don't ask.
Well, see, that's the
Although
thing.
it's Jack.
That's the thing about this episode. Like, Captain Jack takes Barrowman for all the faults in this the faults I would find with this episode. Like, Barrowman is just whenever he's on screen, he can take he is script alchemy. He can take garbage. He can take Chibnall's writing and make it charismatic.
Well, I mean, Jack in general,
yeah,
it's hard to have Jack not be just
not be
epic.
likable. He's
Exactly.
it's really hard. And Barrowman's really good at it.
He
Even if he's
is.
given garbage to work with, he can or just nothing, just something that's just not much of anything. He can turn it into something charismatic because he's Barrowman. It's just what he does. But yeah, it's like anytime he was on screen, I was like, oh, cool, we got Jack's gonna do something because he's at least entertaining. And then it's like, oh, the doctor's back. Okay, well, how long till we get Jack back? Okay.
Also, I think they really, really overplayed the Yaz and Doctor thing. You can tell she is a smitten kitten with her. Like they you can tell just that is just way overboard with Yaz and the Doctor.
Well, yeah, you can anytime that they're actually dealing with the Daleks, it can be kind of a nice little bit of the episode. But they start getting off into personal things, and it just, here's Chibnall again.
I liked the ending, though. I liked
that
ending.
I mean, for the most part, through the episode. Like,
I liked how...
It was a good bookend with him riding the bike again.
With the same yellow hat. And with Grace in the background, like in their memory or ghost or whatever.
But yeah, it's
and maybe they'll join up with Torchwood. They have their psychic paper.
Yeah, well, they can do a lot of they're I think
or a
both
Sarah
of those
Jane adventure type thing where they go off on their own adventures.
Yeah, I think the name's escaping me, but
Ryan and Yaz.
not Yaz, but not the other two. I can't remember their names. They're slipping my mind. And that's one of the problems with freaking
Ryan and Graham.
Yeah, Ryan and Graham. Why can't I remember them? But yeah, it's like I think the actors behind them are ready to do other things and leave this behind. I think Ryan's actor already has something kind of a bit better lined up already, and Graham's actor, he's well established, so he could do whatever he wanted. But
I like Graham.
yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just
I
they are.
I think he is, out of all of them, the best actor of them. You know, not the character himself specifically, although he does add a nice little domestic comic relief. You know what I mean? He is the dad joke type with his sandwiches and his, oh, I was a bus driver, so of course I know this. You know, that sort of thing. But
Yeah,
I mean, just the acting he does. Like at the end where he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm up for some more adventures." And then Ryan's like, "Nah, I'm out." He's like, "I want to go on more adventures." But Ryan, and you can see that in his eyes without, like, in his acting without actually him saying any of it,
And
which is a
it's like,
lot more than you get from Ryan and Yaz, who literally have to vocalize everything or overact
no, no, my
to
question is,
get your point
why
across.
did Ryan have to leave him hanging like that?
What do you mean? Oh, the fist bump?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that scene, it made me think of Psych, where Sean's like, "Come on," and fist bump. "Oh, come on, don't leave me hanging. Come on, you know my pinky falls asleep if I don't."
yeah. I mean, it does. It does. Their departure does, I think, help the show because now they can focus more. Though, in all honesty, if it could have been any of the three, Yaz is the lowest on my list because
Yeah,
she's not
but
very interesting. Um, if it had been Ryan or Graham, and that was the only one staying, then okay, that might have been. It's good anyway of knocking down the TARDIS crew because it was way too many.
okay, so
For my
having
taste.
having quite enjoyed episodes from the Fifth Doctor era, which was up until the very end. It was three companions. They had Adric Nissa Tegan. They had, okay, then they had um Nissa, Tegan, and Trelaw, and then they had Tegan and Trelaw, and then they had Perry. So I am used to multiple companions. In fact, my favorite era, the Second Doctor era, has Jamie plus some female companion.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's but they probably built into that, didn't they? Like they
No,
started with.
in fact, the very first episode had three companions.
Yeah, see, I still don't like it.
Huh?
With this writer, no, he doesn't know how to. He
See, that's the
can't pull it
problem.
off. He doesn't know how to
It's
balance these
not
things.
the problem. It's the character chemistry. It's not the characters themselves. It's
Well,
not the number of characters. It is the character chemistry and the way it's written and just
this writer
combined.
in this era can't handle it. It just
I mean, for one, the stories back then were longer and they were multi-episode stories. Two, the character chemistries were usually different. Like it was usually the doctor and a young female companion who was kind of his granddaughter slash granddaughter supplant, and then uh a guy to be the strong man because the doctor was usually weak up until the third doctor. And they had kind of a template sort of where they had each character had their own reason for being there and their own purpose within the team. But here you don't really feel that because you don't have that crew mentality like they had then. You know, each character doesn't have something unique as far as that. Like
yeah.
they each have their own quirks or whatever, but that is not a strength. That is not a defining characteristic.
Yeah, and they never really took a lot of time to try and develop it. And whenever they did, it was quick, ham-fisted, and just sort of punched in there. It wasn't here's because when you got starting the reboot, because that's basically most of what I've seen is just the reboot. Like anytime they wanted to have more than one companion, like they started with one companion and then they would add characters after establishing what this character's about, you know, and this writer tries to throw them all in there, doesn't build their chemistry. Like if they had if Chibnall, instead of throwing all three on the TARDIS at once, had just brought Ryan on, and then she adventures with Ryan for a while, and then Yaz comes on one helps out because she's a police officer and she helps the doctor out with something, and then she comes on board and we develop what she's about, and then Graham getting over his grief and is like, you know what, why don't you come with me, you're sitting around here, you're grieving, why don't you come, we'll do something fun, we'll do something interesting, and it'll help you sort of move on as best you can, and we'll pull Graham
Or
off this.
even if they started with Graham and, Graham, in order to get over his grief, she takes him on some adventures, but then he misses Ryan and wants to check on him, and they bring him along, something like that. Either way.
Yeah. Either way, you'd have some time to build up Ryan, build up Graham, build up Yaz, if you even bring Yaz along. You could even have Yaz be a sometimes companion, somebody that comes on every once in a while, but doesn't always travel with the Doctor, like Ryan or Graham.
I mean, she is in the perfect position to be the Mickey, like.
Absolutely, she could be the Mickey. I mean, it's like you tried. We've got to check all these boxes. First episode, we can't build these characters, and then because they're trying to throw them all in there, it's like they never bother doing any of them. They're running in so many directions at once that they never actually run in any one direction. It's like, we need to develop Ryan in this episode. Well, we also need to develop Graham and Yaz. Oh wait, we're not going to develop any of them because we don't have enough time to develop them in any particular sense. So nobody's going to get development, and it's just going to be, it's just it's not really enticing television in that regard. But yeah, it's losing them. I think, as much as they are my one of them would be my preferred one to stay in the TARDIS, I think knocking it down to one, and to a certain extent there is the advantage that Yaz has probably the least development, so she has the most to develop, the most potential to develop, because I think she's basically the least developed character. Like, we've gotten a lot from...
I think they've given her the most backstory, ironically, but she's the least developed.
Yeah.
Because they've given her all of these little tidbits, all of these little aspects, yet they haven't really worked in any of that into why she is how she is, Like, they gave her all of this backstory that they aren't actually exploring any.
Yeah, and she doesn't have much of a personality. So, there is the advantage. They've got a lot. They've got a, for as long as she's been on the TARDIS, they have a lot of blank paper to write on. They have backstory to work with, but they don't have a lot, set in stone with their personalities. They can do a bit of development, but it's not going to be, it's going to be better because then they don't have to do as much heavy lifting, and maybe they can finally focus on something instead of just running in all directions at once and not getting anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's a positive for the series. And if they ever do want to do you know, in 5 years when Chibnall's done, you know, with the release schedule and him getting another doctor, maybe it's he might bring them back as a nod, and then you'll get a Moffat ending, like you were talking about, for the beginning of this episode, but you'll get a Moffat ending with all these people coming back. Though I don't think it'll hit quite as hard as the Moffat end of time sort of thing. It won't hit.
That wasn't Moffat, that was Rusty D.
Oh, no. Yeah,
That
Russell T. Davis. Sorry, yeah. Got my showrunners. Yeah, Russell T. Davis. Yeah. Yeah, brain fart. Yeah, Russell T. Davies. Yeah, it won't be, it won't have the same punch as Davies' ending. I don't think it'll have the punch that it did if he does that. But they're still out there and they're still available. It's just they're no longer traveling.
Yeah.
But back to the episode itself. Well, no, talking about the characters leaving is an important part of this episode because that's a big change in the status quo. So it's important to cover it. But getting back to it, it seems to me like most of it would have been sort of normal government sort of shenanigans with Robertson, I think was his name, or whatever it was, Robertson. Anyway, it would have been, that's just sort of normal kickback government stuff you're going to see everywhere, just corruption it's everywhere. Like it wouldn't have been actually that bad because it's, if he hadn't cloned the Dalek, which that's a heck of a skill set he's got. He can both decipher alien technology from a single piece of half-destroyed wreckage and clone a perfect,
from a single cell.
Yeah, from a single cell, clone a Dalek. Like, that's a hell of a skill set.
Yeah.
If he hadn't done that, the whole thing would have been fine up until that point.
True. And also, if it was me and I was at the incinerator about to destroy it, I don't know. I would have not opened up the thing. I would have just tossed the whole thing in.
Yeah, you're right. That was basically, if he had just shove it in and let it go, like it would have, and then just sealed it up. Just let the Dalek burn.
Well, I mean, then again, I guess it wouldn't have made much of a difference because the Dalek had already built his...
I forgot he'd already done all the plants around the world growing these things. But yeah. If he hadn't done it in the first place, if he'd just muck and just tossed it out and left it to sit there and be Dalek goo instead of trying to rebuild it, like if he'd just stayed with the tech, he probably would have been fine.
That's the problem with geniuses. They tend not to know when to stop. Especially
in Doctor Who.
Yeah.
It's like, if you had just stopped at just copying the technology, because it wasn't like he was using...
it wasn't like they needed that organic material for anything.
Yeah.
That was just his own freaking curiosity. That was like, what is this? I should clone it. See. Maybe it's a dinosaur thing.
To Robertson's...
Ooh, look, it's a giant squid. Cool.
Yeah. And to Robertson's limited credit, when he found out about it, he never ordered it. And when he found out about it, he's like, no, burn that thing.
Yeah. Well, I think
to his limited credit, he did say, oh, there's a Dalek, burn it immediately.
His credit, he realized what it was. He's
Yeah.
like, wait a second. That where did you say that came from? It came from the machine that you cloned? Yeah, get rid of it now.
Well, and not only like, and it wouldn't have been even that bad as well if he had not plugged it into the network. So this genius both cloned it and then plugged it into the network. Like, if he didn't plug it into the network and then they incinerated it, that would have been the end of it. And it would have been some weird Dalek shaped riot suppression drones that had no, no lasers, no not lasers, but the X-ray, no whisks or plungers. Just, oh yeah, here's some,
They're gun arms and manipulation arms.
okay, gun arm manipulation arm. Yeah, the technical terms for it, but plunger and whisk. Like none of their weapons.
That is what 90% of the people use for their Dalek cosplay.
Is a plunger and a whisk. But yeah,
Okay, so there's something that confuses me. So, they keep the politician dude alive because he's gonna like tell them like who tricked them. Couldn't they just use their little plunger thing to get the information from his brain?
Yes, they could have, because they have done that before.
Yeah.
Tuesday.
This was not a great day for Dalek tactician work. Like, overall.
They do have the Daleks, assisting the Doctor in order to gain information from him. And he just is constantly outsmarting at them. And they still don't learn their lesson.
Yeah, it was not a good day for basically anybody, because, okay, so putting myself in the Bronze Dalek's position, okay, I'm looking at Earth. There's a reason I'm not currently attacking Earth. Okay, that reason is probably the Doctor. Like, we know, unless we come up with a really super secret sneaky plan, we're not going to go deal with them. Like, we're just going to leave Earth for now. We're going to conquer everything else. We're going to wipe their primary mission is to wipe out all non-Dalek life. Exterminate it. That's their plan. That's the prime directive, is to exterminate all life that's not Dalek. Okay? So, we're not going there because the Doctor is there. Okay? And we also know that there's these impure Daleks here. Okay? As soon as I detect we got impure Daleks fighting the Doctor, I just set up a perimeter and let them fight. Like, our goal is to kill as much life as possible. Why not let the Doctor, if the Doctor kills the impure Daleks, our job is done. We don't have to lift a finger. If the Doctor kills the Daleks, we don't have to worry about it. It's done for us. Just contain them and make sure none of them escape. And then so they're wiped out for us, and we don't have to do anything. And we put our enemies, we've cut at both of our enemies at the same time. If the impure Daleks kill the Doctor, then we just ride down. We celebrate. Hey, we got the Doctor killed, and then we just nuke all the impure Daleks. We just wipe them out, and then boom, we're done. Because there's a lot more Bronze Daleks, I figure, than the impure Daleks, and even then, they also seemed superior in terms of the fact that they were able to wipe them out so easily. Like, it seems to me that the Bronze Daleks had superior technology.
Why didn't they just wait for Although, to be fair, they didn't know about the Doctor when they started wiping out the impure Daleks.
Well, I mean, if your reason for not showing up is the doctor, you expect the doctor to come. And if the doctor doesn't come, well, the impure Daleks are doing your work for you of eliminating all the humans and whatnot, and they might attract the doctor, and the doctor would kill them, or they'll kill the doctor, or they'll wipe out the Earth. If they wipe out the Earth, then you just set upon them once they've finished the job and kill them all afterwards.
Or just, blow up the planet.
That's an option too. And the whole thing is also like, and then you look at it from
Humans have so much so many nuclear weapons all around the globe that literally all you would have to do is hit one of the hit a few silos, and boom.
well,
do the
that's
job
not
for-
you'd have to. I'm sure Daleks could hack, but set off a few.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they could do that. I mean, it's from a tactical standpoint, this was a lot of own goals on the Daleks side. I mean, I understand they don't like the impure ones, but you could just let your enemies kill them for you. It's like, we don't have to do anything. We just surround, and then when they declare victory, we wipe them out when they're least expecting it, and they're all weakened from fighting everything else.
Yeah.
Or and then from the doctor's standpoint, okay, so I can attract all the Daleks to jump into a TARDIS and then blow up the TARDIS and kill all the Daleks. Okay, so what I'm going to do is attract more Daleks to kill the other Daleks, and then I'm going to take the bronze Daleks, and then I'm going to pull them into the TARDIS and blow them up.
Now I wish it really didn't cut off for me.
But yeah, it's just like, this is so this is the same story with an extra step. You just brought the bronze Daleks in for no reason and added another risk factor.
Kind of like the Pinky and the Brain episode, where it's like we take the tidal wave, we change the rotation of the moon to alter the tides. It's like, great idea. He who controls the oceans controls the world. Oh no, that's just part one. It's like, you can rule the world this way. Yeah. But there's even more. It's like, no, you don't need more.
Yeah, you've won. At that point, you've won. And so if you're willing to do all this, and it doesn't really scream loudly for the Daleks, cunning, that the Doctor is trying to lure us into the TARDIS. It's probably a trap.
Yeah.
I mean,
They didn't have Admiral Akbar there, okay?
yeah. Well,
They didn't have Admiral Akbar there to warn them. Although he might be related to them. I mean, they both have squid faces.
Yeah, it's just, it doesn't speak well for their cunning. Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, the Daleks are the most diabolical, brilliant, and evil creatures on the universe.
This is the most obvious trap in the world. Like, that the TARDIS has a shield, and that you wouldn't be able to enter there if there was a shield. And the only reason she would drop the shields is if it was a big trap.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, unless I'm missing something, like this is just the same plan, just more steps.
Yeah.
I mean, it got us the bronze Daleks back in circulation, so I like that. And it killed off all the impure Daleks, probably. Though, to be fair, they could bring them back if they want to, because one of them survived. Or some idiot will try and clone them again.
Yeah.
But for the moment,
Emergency temporal shift.
Yeah, well,
That's how it happened the rest of the times.
yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I guess if they can build everything else, they can build the temporal shift as well. But
No, that's what the Daleks had been using the entire
n-
series.
no, that's not what I was talking about. I was talking about the Earth-made
well-
Daleks.
Oh, the
Yeah, whether they would have had an emergency temporal shift built in. But given that the cloned Dalek was doing the building, assuming they could acquire the necessary resources to create it, I'm sure you would have put that in there as well.
The eyes with wings.
But yeah, it was not a good day for cunning on anybody's part of this one, aside from Captain Jack, and he used that breakout quite nicely. Like he actually was just fairly competent.
He did, and let's see, my thing on the episode. I really did think like, wait, politician dude isn't the master in disguise, is he?
yeah, no.
Like I don't know, because like selling out the Earth, trying to destroy the Doctor, that just felt like master.
Well, I think they've done that a little too recently with Saxon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think they would have.
Not
I think
only
they would have waited a little longer before they did that.
not only that, but it's really just it's too easy, too clean. That's not the master's MO. Like the Ronnie says, he'd get dizzy trying to walk a straight line.
Yeah.
Hey, that is very dizzying. Okay.
Okay, but
Uh.
yeah, it's
Yeah. I'll have to try to watch the ending some at a later time.
but yeah, there's.
There's a lot more than just
Yeah, if you don't think about it, it's not the worst episode he's put out.
yeah.
I mean,
How can it be worse than what was that one?
Orphan 55.
yeah. Huh?
Orphan 55.
Yes. How can it be worse than that?
Yeah, I mean, it
Well,
was.
I mean, I only have one gripe about it. I didn't really notice any Christmas theme to it.
It's New Year's, dingus.
Eh.
Which, yeah, I mean, even that didn't really play that much into it.
Yeah, it really didn't have much. They mentioned it once. Ryan, Happy New Year's, yes. Oh, is it New Year's?
Yeah, it's just. Yeah,
Although,
it was
to be
just that it was a
fair-
year. It was a year from when Resolution.
Yeah.
When it's just that was the only thing that really marked it as a New Year's. Like you could cut that out, cut out all the references to New Year's, and this would just be a normal episode, just a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, that is my reaction to New Year's pretty much every year.
That's you.
So, so, I mean, that is valid.
But yeah, I want Christmas specials again.
Me too.
I want killer Christmas trees.
Me too.
Christmas trees.
So I'm
Jack-
guessing Doctor Who's over for good since blew up the TARDIS.
And
They blew up the spare TARDIS.
Yeah,
Ah.
she said, I have a spare.
Yeah, because
And
remember
which-
she shoved the fam into a spare TARDIS on Gallifrey, and then
She
got
went
out.
back-
I forget.
Ah.
And then
Yeah.
got out.
See, where it
And
cut
that-
off for
that was
me.
That was
Where-
the TARDIS that Yaz was hanging out in, trying to get back to the Doctor.
That was what that house was.
See,
Yeah.
where it cut off
Well,
for me.
basically TARDIS.
where it cut out for me was the TARDIS was in space with all the Daleks flying around it.
Oh, well, you see that, so you didn't miss a whole lot, but the thing is, the
Yeah.
that TARDIS wasn't the real TARDIS. That was the
Ah.
TARDIS that Yaz was staying in while she was trying to find the doctor.
So Yaz is dead then. I'm kidding.
No, Yaz just joined the Master, at least according to fandom.
Wait, what?
So many fans, like in the roleplay and fanfic community, are like Yazter. They have a ship name for it. Yazter.
Dear
Yaz
God.
the Master.
That tasted in the
But
That's terrible.
and another reason why I think, why it didn't even occur to me even to think about like any of those people as the Master in Disguise is that we just got a new one.
Yeah. And I like this Master.
Yeah, I mean,
I do too.
no one's gonna be able to touch Missy for a while.
Oh,
But-
of course. But
But
he is
but he's
still
he's
better
he's
than
decent.
Sin. He's better than Sin. I like him better than Sin. He is a nice blending of Sim and Missy.
I don't know. Mine doesn't really have. I don't have a lot of ranking with that. I don't know whether I like him better than
Although,
Sim or not.
To be fair, nobody's gonna touch Missy with a 10-foot pole.
It's gonna
I mean,
take a
I might
lot.
Want to? Huh?
Yeah, it would take a lot to get up in that rarefied air.
You can't beat Missy or the classic Masters.
Yeah.
Like, in fact, I cannot wait to listen to Masterful. I have it downloaded because I had it on pre-order since last year when it was announced. I mean, like, I think it was announced in like February or January last year, and I pre-ordered it then because it's all of the living Masters in one story.
So
I
it's,
can't.
it's Jacoby, Sims, Missy, and does it have the new guy?
Eric Roberts, not the current one, not the current Master.
Okay.
It's Eric Roberts, Missy, I think Jacoby, and Beavers. Hold on one sec.
Yeah. Anyway.
Hold on. I can tell you in 1 second. It is Jeffrey Beavers, Mark Gaddis, who is an alternate reality master. Jacoby, Alex McQueen. I'm not sure which master he's supposed to be. He might be a replay of one of the classics, like Delgado or Ainley, because they're both dead. Milo Parker, I'm not sure who that one is. Again, probably a reboot. Eric Roberts, John Sims, Michelle Gomez. Oh, and it has Joe Grant in it. Awesome.
Oh, okay. Mark Gaddis. I was like, that's.
Yeah.
So Mycroft is the Master at some point.
Yeah. Oh, come on. Tell me he doesn't make a good master.
I'm not complaining. I wasn't saying, oh, that guy wouldn't do it. No, I was like, wait, they took Mycroft and made him a master. I mean, not at all that he couldn't carry it off. I think he would be very capable of carrying it off. I mean, that's basically kind of, I mean, the master is to a certain extent an evil Mycroft in a certain way.
Yeah.
Which I guess it would just be Moriarty, but it's the same sort of, it's the same sort of very clever, very conniving sort of thing,
Yeah.
But Mycroft uses it for good for the most part.
Well, for his own good, at least.
Yeah, for what he considers good.
What he thinks.
Yeah, what he believes is good. But yeah. But yeah, I mean, so I have no doubts he could pull it off. Um, which makes the last um the 12's regeneration episode a little more interesting.
That would be.
Oh no,
But
that was the master, but he would have recognized him, I think. Eventually, if
yeah,
it was that in that close proximity, he would have recognized the master immediately.
and it wasn't a 12. It was a 10th Doctor episode.
No, I'm talking about the one where he meets one
Oh,
at the end of his run. Mark Gatiss shows up as the World War I soldier.
oh yeah, I forgot that. You know, he also played Lazarus
Okay, yeah,
in
it's been a while
the.
since I saw that episode, but yeah, I'll take your word for it.
It was the 10th Doctor episode with Martha Jones's sister is
Yeah, and it
is the assistant
transforms into a
scientist.
beast. It transforms
Huh?
somebody, either him or somebody else, into a beast of some sort.
Yeah,
Like a
well,
beast, but like a monster of some sort.
a monster. What happened was he tried to de-age himself, and in doing so, he accidentally triggered some sort of mutagenic um, rogue gene that triggered a monstrous mutation where he sucked the life out of everybody.
Yeah. But yeah, that one was the one that stood out more to me. Was his in Twice Upon a Time, I think is what it was called.
Oh yeah, Twice Upon a Time. I actually really liked that Christmas episode too.
Yeah.
Although my favorite will always be Dr. Mysterio.
It's
That's my
okay.
favorite Christmas special.
Mine will always be the I think it'll be Christmas Invasion from the 10th Doctor.
It was okay. I mean, we get the hand, and it does have a lot of lore building, but to each their own.
Yeah, each their own. But
Madrock,
yeah,
what's your favorite? Madrock,
Yeah.
what's your favorite? What's your favorite Christmas special?
Fuck.
No, I'm sorry, that's not an episode.
I would have to think about that and remember.
Well,
yeah.
we've had Christmas Invasion. We've had
What's the one with the Titanic?
okay, that was I don't remember the episode title, but the Titanic episode.
Yeah, that was Christmas, right?
Yeah, that was Christmas. Vena Cavalata.
Okay, I think it would be that one.
Voyage of the
Okay.
Damned.
Yes, that's it. Voyage of the Damned.
That's where
I
you
know,
also
it's
get
just-
that. I think that's the
Second one? No, third.
Four.
yeah, you have Christmas Invasion, Runaway Bride, and then Voyage of the
Yeah.
Damned.
Yeah, that's the third one.
Yeah.
And then after that was
Oh, I've got it right here. It's the Next Doctor, and then
Yeah.
then it's the End of Time is considered a Christmas special, I guess. But it's
yeah,
not really that
Well,
Christmassy.
and New Year, because I think they did it on Christmas and then they did the second part on New Year's.
Okay.
Okay,
Um,
all is right in the world. Somebody gave it a thumbs up.
Yay!
Yay.
And then I think it was
Oh, then it's at the End of Time, then A Christmas Carol.
oh yeah,
Then The Doctor,
and
the
the-
Widow, and the Wardrobe.
wardrobe.
The Snowmen.
Yeah,
And then
I liked that one too. I mean, first of all, it had Ian McKellen as Killer Snowman. Second of all, it had Killer Snowmen. Also, Killer Snowmen.
It was snowman.
Yes.
Yep.
And Sherlock Holmes. It was Sherlock Holmes and the Killer Snowmen. I mean, we'll watch it later, Jack.
Yeah, then we got the Time of the Doctor. Then Last Christmas, we're starting into 12. The The Husbands of River Song.
Which one was Last Christmas?
Clara is awakened and discovers Santa Claus on her rooftop as she tries to deny his
okay,
existence.
okay. That Santa episode.
Yeah.
That had Strax in it, but it wasn't Strax. It was the actor who played Strax. It had Dan Starsky. Out of costume. The first time you see him not in a costume, because he's usually either the Centauran or one of the other little characters.
Yeah.
That
Then
was the
Husbands of
first
River
time-
Strong, The Return of Dr. Mysterio, then Twice Upon a Time, Resolution, Spyfall Part 1 was technically a New Year's thing. And then Revolution of the Daleks, obviously. The recent one. Anyway, getting back to the episode at hand, we've definitely trailed off of that, but it's talking about the Master, and well, we kind of got back on it when we started talking about the Christmas and New Year specials. Well, we have sort of we have sort of an evil version of Vidal North.
Huh?
I can remember her constituency, but the most annoying thing in the world happened. The Prime Minister that blew up the.
Yeah, I mentioned that. Harriet Jones was blown up. Harriet Jones was killed by Daleks, and now this Prime Minister was killed by Daleks.
Yeah.
What is it about Daleks and the Prime Minister?
Well, she essentially is the evil version of Harriet Jones.
She was
Landslide majority.
not really the evil version of Harriet Jones, because
we see her rise to power, but we see it in the opposite direction.
yeah, she was evil. I'm not saying she wasn't. She was a corrupt politician, but I mean, she was a true politician. Whereas Harriet Jones wasn't really a politician so much as everything she did not for power or fame or money. She did for
the good of the country,
the benefit of her people.
Yeah.
Benefit of her country and those in it.
Yeah. Whereas this one is personal gain and control and whatnot. So
she's
not
all about, as long as it makes me look good and as long as I can get the credit for it, we're all good.
Yeah. So evil Harriet Jones.
Yeah.
So the opposite world Harriet Jones, the mirror universe Harriet Jones. But yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got that.
Harriet Holmes.
But obviously Harriet Jones far more charismatic, far more enjoyable as a character.
Yeah.
Just her Harriet Jones, MP Vidal North.
Yeah.
Harriet Jones, Prime Minister. Yes, we know, ma'am.
I love her. She was so sweet and so just
well, except for that one time. It's like,
yeah, but
I mean,
again,
you can understand why she did it, but it was
yeah, that time she had a valid reason.
Yeah, it was a difference of opinion on what was best to protect the Earth with the Doctor. Yeah. Very intense ethical difference between the two. They're retreating. They're leaving.
Yeah, but to be fair, she was kind of right. Because the Doctor isn't always there. And while there is Torchwood and Unit to protect them,
there's not a Unit anymore. They got rid of Unit, remember?
Not then.
Well, I mean, there's not anymore, I was just saying right now.
And also, they didn't get rid of Unit. They just got rid of Unit in the UK.
Well, I guess, Yeah, I forgot about that,
Because
but
it
that's still
is a
stupid because it's a unit.
global organization. It's kind of like how, okay, just because you're not part of, just because you're pulling out of that doesn't mean the organization is going to fall apart when it's a global population. It's
But-
finished. I just didn't have enough resin. We'll make another one later.
But yeah, it's yeah. Is there anything else I can think of?
I got nothing.
Yeah,
No.
I think we ring this one out and then some. I mean, we didn't talk about absolutely everything that happened, but most of what happened, we hit the high points and delved into why it was stupid.
Pretty sure we talked about everything that happened. I don't think there was anything we didn't mention aside from, damn, it took him 19 years to get into that place when he had a vortex manipulator.
Yeah, I mean, I think most of it was trying to figure out where it was. I would think
I
like
guess.
that's one of the things like
Throwaway line of, how'd you get that in there? Do you really want to know?
yeah,
Ooh.
it's
Like,
That-
let's
I
throw
don't
back to
know.
the reality show episode.
Yeah, the long game, I think it was called, where it's like, you're naked. Where did that come from? Do you really want me to answer that?
But yeah, to summarize, everybody was stupid, but Behrman is still very good at what he does.
Yeah, everybody was stupid, but except for Jack. Jack was actually smart in that.
And he was typical, just charming Behrman.
Yeah, he was just Jack.
Yeah. All right. Well, if we've exhausted everything,
Yep.
I think
And
I think we'll.
I have to go feed a different Jack.
Okay. Well,
gotta go feed a puppy.
I'll stop the stream there, and we'll call it a day.